So today we have Dr. Redmond here with Texas A&M Vet School, and we also have Adam Currier, who's a fourth-year student at Texas A&M, and they're here to help us today. And right after they walked in, we received this barn owl that somebody found in the road, and smells like a skunk, so we know what he was going after when he was trying to eat. But if you will check him out for us, do a quick triage on him. I think you already said he looked like he needed some fluids and stuff.
Yep.
So let's see what you think here.
Alright, so whenever these guys come into the hospital here, we always want to make sure we take a good look at them. So we need to make sure we look at their eyes, make sure they don't have any injuries to their eyes. We just want to look at their eyes. It's really important that these guys can see to hunt. We also want to take a good look at their wings, stretch their wings out like this, make sure that they don't have any broken bones. So you can palpate, any of the bones in their wings to make sure that nothing is broken. This guy looks really good on that side. Let's see about this side. Okay, so he doesn't seem like he has any broken bones. And then another important part of looking at these guys is to look at all the muscles around their keel bone, which is what they use to fly. So you want to feel their body and see how thin they are. And this owl is very, very skinny. So he doesn't really have any muscles at all around his keel bone, which means he probably hasn't been eating very well. He's been down for a long time. And then we also make sure we check out their feet. So look at the bottoms of their feet to make sure that they don't have any sores on their feet. Sometimes these animals, if they aren't able to fly, they'll be walking around and they'll have a lot of injuries to their feet. And raptors aren't meant to walk around a lot, so we always want to make sure that their feet are looking really good. So this guy is looking very dehydrated, so he needs some fluids. And he's also very thin, so we need to start feeding him to try to get him to gain some weight and try to make him feel better. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give him some fluids just right underneath the skin. So these will be subcutaneous fluids. So we have a syringe here, and the best place to give birds fluids is by their leg. So let's get rid of some of the feathers here. Okay.
This guy looks like he's a juvenile. He's still got there's a little bitty down in different places.
Yeah, exactly. So it may be that he's an orphan or
Mm-hmm.
something and couldn't, hunt on his own possibly. Can you pull his legs down a little bit more, Adam? Thank you very much. Alright, so I'm going to separate the feathers so we can see the skin. I'm going to go just right underneath the skin and give him some fluids. So you can probably see the skin kind of getting bigger here with the fluids as they're going into this owl.
And then he'll just slowly absorb those, right? Which is
Exactly.
a good way to do it, so that he can get the nutrients, actually the fluids that he needs.
Right, yep, he'll slowly absorb these probably for this guy's very dehydrated, so probably, over the next 12 hours or so, these fluids will be gone. He's losing a little bit, but he's got most of them. Alright, there's some fluids for you. Alright, then we also like to give them some fluids in their mouth. So this is called a gavage feeding tube. So it's just basically a tube that we put down in their mouth and we pass it down their esophagus into their crop. And then we can give fluids or food that way, and this is for birds that aren't eating or drinking very well on their own. So we'll do that for this guy. Do you have anything to open his mouth with? That'll give. Do you mind pulling up on his top beak a little bit for me?
Is he straight enough?
There we go. Yep, I think so. Alright, and so we just pass this tube right down his throat. His crown. Let's see, there we go.
They're really dry.
He's very dehydrated. Alright, there we go. So that's down into his crop, so we can just give him some fluids. Alright, there we go, some fluids for him. And he'll just have to be slowly fed. We start with fluids usually in the tube, and then we'll gradually work him up so that he's eating some really soft foods, and eventually he'll start to eat mice as he gets better. And that's basically the things we look at for raptors when we're taking a look at them.
Well, thank you very much.
welcome.
And the barn owl is one of the very neat raptors that we do have in this area. These guys eat snakes, they eat mice, they eat rats. This one actually came from an area where there was a barn. They like to get out in open areas and really hunt over a field. So I think he's got a good chance of survival. And thank you very much for checking him out.
No problem.